Hey guys, I'm just from Newsreel here, and these are my thoughts on the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. I am not going to do the thorough review I intended to do. As a matter of fact, this is my third attempt in filming, and it's like, you know what, I'm just going to give my feedback on the device as a whole, because for those of you that really follow my channel would know I do long-term reviews anyway. And honestly, I haven't had much time with this device to truly just give it my true feedback as to how I feel overall and how it's held up. Because, well, it's so new, of course it's going to get things done, and if it doesn't, it's either a bad phone that I gotta get replaced, or it's just false advertising. But this phone is definitely the best bang for your buck at $1,000 price range. I can't believe I'm saying that, but that's the world we live in today. I am a firm believer in nothing that you can make a call launcher cost over $800, because my goodness, that's just ridiculously expensive. But that's the world we live in. People are paying for it. So if you're gonna go shell out $1,000 for a phone, you have your choices, obviously, and my money will go to the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Now, the only reason I'm bummed about this one is that I wanted the silver one, and now Samsung's bringing it, and I don't have it. So if I was going to have a Note 9 that I wanted it in silver. But unfortunately, I got the ocean blue, which is still really nice, don't get me wrong. It's just been the year of blue for me. The Pixel 2 that I have is blue. Before that, the U11, which was supposedly silver, is in fact blue. But it's okay. Blue it is. So let's run down the things that I like about this phone, and then I'll tell you the things that I don't like about this phone. So let's start with just no particular order here, guys. I'm just spitballing here because I got tired of having to film and refilm. So I'm just going to tell you guys my thoughts straight up, unfiltered. Okay, number one, the display. My goodness, having had a phone that went from U11, which is an LCD screen, to an AMOLED display on a Pixel 2, but had a downgrade to 1080p, and then jumped back to a Samsung Infinity display for the first time, I gotta tell you guys, wow. And this is on full HD. This isn't even at the highest resolution, and I don't even know why I would put it at high resolution unless I want my battery to die out faster. Alright, so that's one. Two, the design is pretty impressive. I mean, you got the headphone jack right here, USB Type-C, a low-firing speaker here, and an S Pen here. But it's stereo speakers because they make use of the front-facing earpiece as a speaker. It doubles as a speaker. And in the back, the reflective glass and such, yes, it's a finger prick magnet, but what glass isn't? I mean, everybody that complains about glass being a finger prick magnet probably never ever dealt with glass. It gets fingerprints, y'all. That's the way it is. It's glass. My goodness, learn to live with it. But what they've been able to do and achieve with the screen going almost like to every single edge possible is just really, really impressive. So props to Samsung for handling that. Number three is the battery with an asterisk on it, and I'll explain why. I don't know if I have a bad device, but this battery is not able to power me through an entire day. And I'm talking about times when I'm hardly using it. Now, those of you guys that know, I am a RAM hog. So this processor, the Snapdragon 845 with 6 gigabytes of RAM, is probably one of the best RAM management experience devices I've ever used. Samsung has significantly got it better since the atrocious Samsung Galaxy Note 5 RAM management. But the Exynos processor worked better on that phone. But I digress. Let's get back to this one. It handles it really, really well. I am surprised. But for some reason, even with the always on display off, and I'm using full HD, not the highest resolution on the screen, and some processors not even working in the background during the weekend, this battery just drains. And I know how to optimize my phones. And I've been using the BlackBerry Priv next to this one. The standby time on this guy has been considerably better than the Note 9. So I don't know why. Now, when pushed hard, they both drain, of course. But the standby time on this one running on Marshmallow on a 3500 milliamp battery is considerably less. And coming from a Google Pixel 2, which is the smaller of the two Pixels with the smaller battery, I must say, I'm not entirely impressed by the 4000 milliamp battery that was supposed to promise all-day battery life. But I still give it the props because it does last longer than my Pixel 2. So, yes, there you have it. Yes, it does last longer than the BlackBerry Priv when pushed hard. I would say it's on par with the battery experience I've used with the HTC U11. And unfortunately, that's going to be anecdotal evidence because I have not been able to use my HTC U11 side by side with this phone. Okay, number 4, memory. Guys, memory has always been a thing for me, especially someone that manages that much data. So this one has 120 gigabytes built in, and of course, you guys heard, you can put a terabyte of data in here. If you can even get your hands on a memory card like that, which I heard they don't make. The biggest I've been able to find is 500 megabytes. Oh, excuse me, 500 gigabytes. Man, too many gigabytes. So I love that you're able to carry so much in here, and that kind of segues to what this thing does overall as number 5. Productivity. That goes with the S Pen. S Pen is in combination with productivity because, well, for those of you that know, I have basically a pen on almost every device that I use that's able to be compatible with one that has it built in, not just as an added thing that you can do with Bluetooth. I'm talking about a device that was built with the precision pointing tool like this one. So here's my OneNote here with this device, and of course I absolutely love it. There's me doing some budgeting, and I love doing the scribbles on this thing. And when I want to pick up on my Surface Pro, I do with the Surface Pen, and of course my Apple Pencil with my Apple iPad Pro 9.7 inch. So yes, productivity is amazing. I've tested out Dex just one. It's called Dex, right? I tested out Dex only once when I was actually using this device because of poor data connection. I was streaming Amazon Prime to my TV offline, and that's when I connected to my TV, and boom, the Dex interface popped up. I'm like, oh, check that out. It's pretty cool. So I am happy that this thing does so much more than just smartphone things. This thing can try to do so much more, and it has so many feature sets that you'll be lucky if you run into everything. Now, I, for one, even though I haven't been using a Samsung device per se for the almost 18 months, doesn't mean I don't use certain Samsung services that I enjoy, such as Samsung Health. Yes, I rely on that for my fitness level. I do use Samsung Pay because, well, it's Samsung Pay and it's awesome. I love it. So there are certain elements of things that I like because, well, they just communicate quite nicely. And since I got this phone, it unlocked basically certain features I didn't know I was missing on the Samsung Gear Sport that was paired up to my Pixel 2. So it's been a good experience overall in that department. But there are trade-offs. And here's the first one. I kind of talked about it already. The battery. So until proven otherwise, I'm actually disappointed with the battery life on this. I'm not getting 4,000 milliamps worth of battery that I expected from this device, which is all day. I know all day. It's called the BlackBerry Key 1, so don't tell me this one's the all-day phone, because it's not. Especially you have to tweak so many settings on it. It just makes no sense. 2. The atrocious Bixby Button. My goodness, I downloaded an app to just get rid of that, but it launches the Google Voice, but with the latest setting that you have to press twice to launch Bixby. With the latest setting, I had to shut off the BX Actions app in order to be able to use this to activate and get to the settings to switch it off, or like, I guess, delay the launch. Number 3. Microphones. I keep hearing that I'm muffled. Maybe it's my phone, but it's like on and off. And I don't use Bluetooth devices to communicate. I just use the microphone on this phone. Some days it's good, some days it's not. And I make sure this phone doesn't touch water, even though it's water resistant. So for some reason or another, some people say I'm muffled, some people say I'm not. I wonder how much of this, including the battery drain, has to do with my connectivity, which is this thing's on Verizon. But I gotta tell you, even though this thing's on Verizon, remember, I've been using the BlackBerry Priv on Verizon, and I still get the same experience in terms of network, but the battery drains faster on this one. I don't know why. I just keep pounding away on that one. Number 4, I don't like the size of the phone, man. This is just... Remember the Priv being so damn big? This thing's still bigger. Why is it bigger? Well, of course we know. The bigger screen, bigger battery, the heft and all that. But my goodness, damn, this thing's big. I'm not a fan of large devices. That's why I went to Google Pixel 2 instead of the XL. So yeah, I don't like the size. And lastly, $1,000. With this being the world where now we have $1,000 phones and it's going to become the new norm next year, at least this one gives you way more bang for your buck than an iPhone would, especially the iPhone the iPhone XS Max. It's an X, Apple. Correct yourselves. But anyway, it's, my goodness, it's either you want an iPad with smaller bezels, iPhone, or you get a phone that actually does a lot more than just give you a better screen. That's my opinion on the iPhone. Sorry to take some shots at Apple while I'm talking about Samsung. That's just the way it goes. But we're talking about $1,000. Is it worth it? No, I didn't pay $1,000 for this. Heck no. I got this guy for $500 on installment payments because of credits. Whatever. But do I recommend anybody go shell out $1,000 for a phone? No, don't do it. Wait, just don't do it, because one drop, bye bye, $1,000. Learn the hard way. All right, guys, those are my thoughts. Top 5 pros, top 5 cons of the Note 9. Will I keep using it in my daily driver? Yes, I intend to. But I miss my HTC U11, so I might switch back to that. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, stay in the know, and I'll see you in the next video.